Wickersham. Jeff is a sought-after accountability and peak performance coach who helps guide clients to intentionally step into their best versions of themselves and unlock that inner hero waiting to be unleashed. Jeff is a #1 best-selling author, Tony Robbins Award winner, podcast host, speaker, and creator of the 4-Step Morning Fire methodology. He recently completed his second David Goggins 4x4 by 48-mile run, has meditated for 1,706 straight days, and has taken an ice bath or cold shower for 1,362 straight days. If you have that itch, that you can be more, do more, want more, Jeff can help you get you there. I warmly welcome Jeff Wickersham. Welcome to BrandsTalk.
Oh, thanks for having me. Grateful to be here.
And it's unbelievable having you here today. I mean, you are a mental toughness and peak performance coach. How do you get mentally so tough that you can do a 4x4 by 48-mile run 2 times? And then taking these ice baths and meditating for so long. What is your secret recipe?
So, #1, I didn't start out this way, right? And I always like to share that side of the story because so many times people will hear those things and think there's no way I can get there. I was a shy, introverted kid growing up. I still have the story of my mother. I was like 6 years old, wanted to go play at a friend's house, and she had to come with me because I was so shy, I didn't want to go without her. And then in high school, for our senior class on the male side, I was voted biggest complainer. So when you think about that, it's not where you start. You can change and you can totally transform your life and where you're going to finish. So my big moment, my seminal moment in my life was about 8 years ago. Unfortunately, I lost my mom to breast cancer. So when you watch the woman that brought you into this world leave this world, it changes you at your core, right? That fragility of life hit me upside the head with a 2x4. And I thought, okay, what do I truly want to do with my life? What's my purpose? What's my passion? And that's where I went down the personal development rabbit hole of getting better myself and then helping others. And it's a constant process. And I think that's a key point is we are always striving to be our best. And if you can get in that mindset, that mental toughness space of, hey, today I'm going to be a little bit better than I was yesterday, then you're on the right path. And you're going to have dips. You're going to have days where you're just not at your best. Maybe you're at 70%. But if you can give everything you have at the 70% level, that's still a successful day, right? This misconception that we're always going to be on, it just doesn't happen. So, through the passing of my mom, through just starting these daily disciplines each and every day in my life, have truly created a foundation that I can speak with authenticity, passion, excitement, vulnerability. And I'm a practitioner. I eat, sleep, and breathe it on a daily basis. And that's why I feel I'm so effective in coaching others is I do it. I'm not teaching out of a book. I'm practicing it and going forward. So we always put a cap on what we can accomplish. The David Goggins run is one of those, right? I mean, you run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours straight. And I was challenged a couple years ago by a guy that I had my mastermind to say, let's do this together. And I said, oh my goodness, I'm not a runner by any stretch of the imagination. But I said, okay, let's see what's possible. And I did it once, completed it. And then I have a friend who's a former Navy SEAL, Wim Hof certified instructor. And he said, doing it once is great. But once you know the pain, true grit, true mental toughness is doing it again because you know what you're in for. So that's why I did it again.
Wow. And you mentioned you were a shy child. And now you are everything else than shy. And there is one quote that I like very much that you mentioned the other day. It's consistency breeds confidence. So how does that go together? Because in order to, continue all of that, and you have to take action to become confident. And then how do you get there? So where does your consistency come from? because I think that you need a lot of discipline in order to be consistent. So where do you get that energy from, this passion?
So I love bookending my days, right? What's that last 30 minutes of the day look like? And then what's that first 30 minutes? And by doing that, we can have some semblance of control over the chaotic world that we live in, right? If you, that last 30 minutes of the day, you have a digital sunset, you prepare for a great night's sleep, you get everything that you want to do right when you wake up out, so your mind doesn't need to think, your brain doesn't need to expend any energy towards it. And then when you wake up, you stack all these wins, you get some momentum, some progress before you're distracted by phones, social media, text, email, all those things. That's a tremendous foundation to have in life. So absolutely, consistency over and over again breeds confidence. One way to be consistent is to track it, right? Make sure you're tracking. Hey, start for 1 week. I'm going to just get up and drink a glass of water. I'm going to walk and I'm going to breathe 3 times, right? There's water, exercise, meditation. You get those 3 wins, you do it for a week, track it, and make it so small and simple and easy that it's almost laughable. So many times people are like, I'm going to go hit the gym for an hour, but they haven't worked out in 10 years. You are setting yourself up for failure. So set yourself up for success. Do it small, make it easy, make it laughable, then do it consistently. And I will say, the other thing is, whenever you're starting something new, you're going to suck when you start. I started a podcast and it was pretty bad when I started. I had no pitch, no tone, no energy. But 1,400 plus episodes later, I now get paid to speak to companies and corporations. And I now have found my voice. If you just say, I'm going to enjoy the process, I'm going to be consistent, and all of a sudden that confidence begins to grow through those reps that you get day in and day out.
Wow. I'm only 2 years through now with my podcast.
Well, congrats.
I think it's about 90 episodes so far. So there's way to go to reach 1,400. Let's see where I am at when I have hit that goal.
Awesome.
And you talked about your morning routine, and in line with that, you're also an author. And in your book, Rise, Fight, Love, Repeat, Ignite Your Morning Fire, you wrote about your 4-step morning fire methodology. Can you dig a little bit deeper into that exactly? So what do we have to do in the morning to get to be ignited and to be on fire and to achieve everything that we visualize in our life?
Yeah, and I love mantras. I feel like they're so powerful. So, I mean, I wear it on my wrist. I've got a wristband that says Rise, Fight, Love, Repeat. And let me just explain each of those, how I see them and how I describe them in the book. Is rise, you're rising like a phoenix, reborn each day. Every day is like this blank canvas that you can paint your life, your picture on it. So you're rising, reborn, right? Forget about yesterday. Yesterday, you cannot change anything about it. Focus on today, the gift that today is, and then how are you going to use it? So that's the rise, how I see it. Fight. We need to bring that that fight mentality to life. Like, so many people aren't even in the ring fighting for what they truly want, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, nutritionally. Start throwing some punches. Get into the fight. Get onto the offensive. Love yourself, most importantly. And so many people think, well, I'm going to spend some time for myself doing these things. Isn't that selfish? It's actually the most unselfish thing you can do, because you show up for your loved ones, all those people that you care so much about, that much better. So love yourself, then you can love all those around you that much better. And then that consistency, just that repetition over and over again, just being day in and day out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to see how many days straight I can do it. I'm going to see how many days a month I can do it, whatever it is for you. So I love preparing at night. And at night, you need to prepare for success in the morning. And so many people don't do this. This is the missing piece. They think morning routine, I need to do it. But you got to prepare at night to where everything's ready. If you're going to work out, have your workout clothes there. Have your phone on top of your clothes so you can feel those clothes when you go to turn it off. Have your phone away from the bed so you're physically got to get out of bed. You can't hit that snooze button. Heck, turn off the snooze button. You can eliminate that from your phone, right? Prepare at night. And I tell people, even the glass of water, which is the first thing I give to people to do in the morning, that glass of water needs to be ready for you. I have mine in a cabinet ready for me every morning. I have a couple cats. I don't want them to drink out of it. People say, well, that's kind of ridiculous. Why should I have that water ready? Well, let's go through the scenario. You come downstairs, open up the cabinet. There's no clean glasses. That's the first opportunity for your mind to say, you know what? This is too difficult. Let's go back to bed. Let's turn on the news. Let's do something else. Okay, maybe there's not a clean glass in the cabinet. You go to open up the dishwasher. Your significant other didn't push the dishwasher fully in. Glasses are still not clean, right? There's a second opportunity for you to stop. So preparing at night is critical, so you don't need to think in the morning. And we don't want to expend any mental power in, oh, what do I need to do? What do I need to grab? Have it all out, ready to go. So water's the first thing when you wake up, because the longest stretch of the day we go without water is when we sleep, so we're dehydrated. That rehydration process starts you to wake up, starts that energy building process. Exercise, movement after that. We are physical beings. We are meant to move. You can go out, go for a walk for a minute, 2 minutes. You could do something a little bit more vigorous if you want to, but again, keep it simple, keep it easy, almost laughable, so you get that second win in. Third, love meditation. I'm almost up to 5 years straight of meditating at least 10 minutes a day. Sit and breathe. You can use a guided meditation app. I still use one. I love Insight Timer because it tracks how many straight days I do. I would have never gotten to where I'm at almost 5 years straight if it didn't show me after I meditate, all right, you're at 1,781 straight days. So meditation, but it can be as simple as taking 3 breaths in through the nose, 3 breaths out through the nose. I love to do a 6 count in, 2-second hold, 7-second count out. The reason why I count, your mind can't focus on anything else when you're counting seconds. So it gives you that calm. It gives you 45 seconds of peace. So meditation is another key component. And then I love to gratitude journal, right? Science says if you gratitude journal over an 8-week period, your happiness level goes up 25%. There is something that we can do that can increase our happiness level. Because why? Well, when you write down things you're grateful for, all of a sudden more things appear, right? Your mind opens up to more things that you're grateful for. And then one of the last things I love to do is, I have 2 sons, 14 and 12. I write them notes every single morning. I put them outside of the door. That's a token of my love to them. I plant seeds of personal development. Maybe they've got a big sporting event. I'll say good luck in your game, whatever it is. Those are 5 wins I love to stack early in the morning that give me momentum, focus, and energy.
Yeah, I think it's really about making it easy for us to have this routine, these daily habits in preparation. And it's a little bit of work though, but it totally pays off at the end of the day, because you are in a totally different mindset, an intentional mindset that you can achieve, that you can really grow and leap. Yeah, and growing and leaping, it's all about the hero in us. And you say, and I saw it also on your LinkedIn banner, on your profile, I believe every single one of us has a hero inside that is just waiting to be unleashed. So how do we find this hero in us? Many people might still be looking for it or don't even know there is a hero in us. How do we find this hero?
Number one thing I would recommend is exposing yourself to different people's stories. And when you hear different people's stories, all of a sudden you're exposed to things that you might have, or character traits or strengths, or that hero inside of you might have. And that light bulb moment might go off. And it's so important to get out of your lane and do things and expose yourself to things and get curious in life, right? When we become adults, many times we're not throwing on that white lab coat and we're not curious about what's going on. That curiosity we had when we were 4, 5, 6 years old, right? Where we wanted to know everything and we were a sponge. Now we need to continue that in life. And when you get curious and when you're exposed to other people's stories, because so many times we live in a bubble and we think it's only me or what's wrong with me. And we've got layers upon layers of what society tells us we should be, what we heard from our parents, maybe coaches, maybe teachers. And that all those layers have covered up that hero inside. And what needs to happen is you need to either do something or be exposed to some idea that cracks a little piece off of that layer, and you see kind of that gold inside, and you say, wait a second, what do I have? What's that potential inside? And once you see that, then you're on a never-ending quest, as I am today, to actualize your potentials, to step into the greatest version of yourself. And there are days where it's difficult. There are days where you're worn down. We all have those. Yeah. Best way to get through those is to snap into state, right? Tony Robbins has them. Evan Carmichael, who I interviewed in my podcast, says that you need to snap into state when you wake up. But when you uncover that little piece of gold, all of a sudden your life changes, and then you'll be on this constant quest. So expose yourself to different people, their stories, do things that are a little outside of your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. Fill yourself with positivity, right? And that can be podcasts, it can be YouTube videos, it can be documentaries. Those couple things, all of a sudden, you're going to start feeling a change within. And when that little piece cracks off and you see it, then your life will never be the same.
Yeah, but there's the problem that a lot of people are fraught with fear of getting out there, of getting out of their comfort zone that keeps them safe. So how can we go past that fear of putting ourselves out there? How can we get there on the other side?
So one is everybody has that fear. And I think we have that misconception that, oh, this person, he has no fear going live on Facebook or social media or something like that. Yeah. It's not the case. We all have it. We just have the courage to step into it. And I still remember I owned a gym years back after I left corporate America. My first Facebook Live. I mean, my hand was shaking, sweat was coming down my head, and I was so gripped with fear of doing it, but I practiced again and again and again. So one is understanding everybody has that fear. Two is get somebody that's going to hold you accountable or guide you through that process. And so many times we can't read the label when we're inside the bottle. So we can't see our character strengths, our greatness that other people see. So speak to other people. Get a coach. Get somebody that's going to say, you've got this amazing ability. Just have the courage to step forward, or I can help you do it. And then all of a sudden you start moving. You understand that going live isn't that scary. You can do it. And then all of a sudden you do it again. And then you start practicing, and then you get better. So those are a couple ways people can step into that fear.
And then confidence kicks in, right? Yeah, and you mentioned you have left corporate America, and in 2019 you started your morning fire coaching. And it's all about consistency, we know that, yeah, to reach our goals and step into our best version. So what has consistency looked like for you in branding your company?
So consistency for me is showing up and putting out content, right? And showing up with my values and virtues that I hold true, right? Energy, excitement, enthusiasm. I mean, that's kind of number one in my book. You want to be around energetic people. So sharing content, sharing messages where I'm energetic and I'm enthusiastic and I'm excited, because I am excited. I get in our gift that is today, right? So that's a piece. The consistency piece. People watch what you're doing. They might not comment, they might not like, but they absolutely are watching your content. And I just had a conversation with a gentleman yesterday who's going to be a client here in the near future. And he said, your consistency is far above anybody else I've seen. That's why I know you're the guy to help me. And you need to be consistent, because if you're on once and then for 4 weeks nobody hears from you, there's no brand going to be built. nothing like that. I mean, most of my videos, I do a boom, good morning, and people know that. People resonate with it. My kids hate it because all their friends watch my videos and then want me to do that when they see them. But that means that it's consistent, and people equate energy, enthusiasm, excitement to me, consistency to me. So that's helped from a brand perspective is being consistent. We mentioned podcast. I mean, I podcasted for 4 years, 1,400 episodes. I am going to show up every single day, the best version of myself, even when I don't have it, to show you that this is how I operate my life. Imagine if I was your coach, how I could help you reach and uncover that inner hero and intentionally step into the best version of yourself. So that's how I've done it from a brand perspective.
And when we started our conversation, you also said it's important to be vulnerable. And being vulnerable means that you show yourself very authentically, in a very authentic way. Why is it so important to show ourselves in an authentic way and show our vulnerability? And how does that go together? Yeah, because people are very often thinking that's going to harm my brand, but it's the opposite, isn't it?
It is, and people want to understand that you're a human being, right? You're not a machine, or created from some far off element that you're different. I mean, we all have this human experience. So by being able to be emotional, by being vulnerable, by sharing stories that reach and touch your heart, they get through to people at a deeper level, right? And so many times we go through pain and we want to put it away. I take the opposite approach, right? If you're listening to this, I wear a pink wristband on my right arm, and that's in honor of my mom. Not so I want to go crawl in a corner, that I've got to live today and be the best version of myself. And I talk about that often, that pain. I talk about pain of losing other people. I talk about challenges I've had in my business life by nearly going bankrupt, by challenges in my marriage, and we all go through it. So when you can be vulnerable and say, hey, this is what's happened, but I'm choosing to step forward, all of a sudden people say, okay, I could do the same, and they don't feel that alone in their world. So I think that's a critical piece is being vulnerable to build your brand.
So can you give us 3 action steps, the first steps that we need to take in order to build an unshakable mindset and strengthen this confidence that we need to have, this confidence muscle, you call it like that, to intentionally step into our best version, to become the best version of ourselves and always elevate up?
So I can give you a couple. Number 1 is define your identity every single day. And we have this equation kind of backwards, and so many times it's how do I feel when you wake up? Well, your feelings can betray you, and my feelings betray me. If I always followed what I was feeling, there's no way I would have meditated and done cold showers, ice baths for that many consecutive days, right? So we have feelings, and typically we take actions upon those feelings. And if we're not feeling it, we don't take action. And what happens? You spiral down, right? You feel worse about yourself. I should have done it, but I didn't. How many times have people said, I should have started this diet, but I didn't, or I should have worked out, I didn't. So if we flip that around and we define our identity first when we wake up, and fake it till you make it. I hate that concept. I love to say future pace your identity. Who do you want to be? You're not faking it. You're stepping into that version of who you want to be today. Let's take energy for example. Energy, I define myself every day as a world-class athlete. So if I'm a world-class athlete, you bet I am eating right, I'm meditating, I'm exercising, I'm moving throughout the day. And that then translates over to feelings. I feel great about myself. So when you define the identity, you take action upon that identity, and then you start feeling good. You spiral upward. It's a very important concept to really think about when you're starting out and stepping into the best version of yourself. And by future pacing it, That's who I'm going to show up as today. I might not be that person today, but if I show up and take action upon that identity, you bet you're going to feel better. And if you do that consistently over time, all of a sudden you become that world-class athlete, right? So that would be number one. Number two, again, put stuff out on social media and tell people what you're doing. 99.9% of people don't care. But when you put it out there, like this year, I chose not to have a single drop of alcohol. I haven't done that in 29 years. I put it out on social media. You put it out on social media, all of a sudden, there's a subconscious switch that gets flipped, and you hold true to your word because you inherently don't want to look like a liar. Nobody really cares if you fell off the wagon, you didn't do it, but it changes something internally. So that would be another piece. And then the third, if you're struggling or if you want to get there faster, hire a coach, right? Hire somebody that's done it, because you can take years, decades to get there. But if somebody's done it and somebody's living the best version of themselves, they've obviously figured out methods and strategies to do it. You can get there a lot quicker by hiring and having some help. So coaches and mentors are just so critical in life.
Yeah, it would be sad to lose so much time. It could be years just investing in yourself, in hiring someone who can help you. Yeah. And I love also the first step. It's your future self, that you are seeing yourself in the future state, your identity in 3 years' time, in 10 years' time, or 20 years' time, whatever you're looking at. Maybe there are different walks of lives and you have different visions. Ultimately, you have one purpose, but in different walks of life, you might have a vision, let's say in the professional life, and you have a vision for your private life as well. I think that is so important, because there's a lot of people that really don't know where they are going. And I see also in my consulting and coaching work that the most important thing and the most critical thing, but also the most difficult thing, is to craft a vision. That's really interesting what I have seen here. All right, Jeff, is there anything else that you want to mention that we have not talked about when it comes to being in our best version?
Last thing would be every single day is a gift, right? And today you get a gift that you will never get back again. Today you will get a gift you will never get back again. So how are you going to choose to use that gift? Are you going to choose to kind of just punt it and go through the motions and be mediocre or be average? Or could you create a legendary day starting today?
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much for reminding us about every single day is a gift. All right, so before coming to the end of our show, Jeff, I would like to do some rapid fire terms I'm throwing at you right now. Are you ready for that?
I am ready. Let's go.
Accountability.
Accountability, it is the key to unlocking your potential.
Mm-hmm. Success.
Freedom to do what you want, when you want, with who you want.
Mm-hmm. Mindset.
The place that no one works on, or very few work on, but everybody needs to work on.
That's beautiful. I love it. Women empowerment.
Every single person on this planet has the ability to step into the greatest version of themselves.
Mm-hmm. And last but not least, brands.
How do you want to show up to the world?
Okay, thank you so much. Jeff, where can listeners find you?
So they can go out to my website is morningfire.com. If they want to grab my book and get that blueprint, they can go out to Amazon. Rise, Fight, Love, Repeat, Ignite Your Morning Fire. I'm all on major social channels, as well as I have a podcast, Your Hidden Edge, on all major podcast providers.
Perfect. I will put everything into the show notes. Jeff, thank you so much for being my guest today. It was a pleasure having you here to learn how we can build an unshakable mindset and strengthen our confidence muscle to intentionally step into our best version. Thank you, Jeff.
Oh, thank you so much.